Actually, we'll go back to that one. We'll ditch this. Alrighty. As far as I can see, there's nobody viewing right now. So I'll just type a little good morning, everybody. Good norming. Let's try morning, everybody. Everybody who is nobody right now. And it's Ed. Hey, Ed. First along. What's new in Montreal? I like this part because I can read the chat and watch the drawing at the same time. When the text scrolls past a certain point, I have to choose one or the other. All right, well, good motivation to get in here early, I guess. All right, this guy looks like he was sent by head office accounting department to do an audit. Could be. Could be that's his purpose. What's your purpose, Ed? Oh. That would be Rose. Alrighty. How about something else? Bored with this. Bored with this already. Pick a color, Ed. What's the background color? Oh, Liz is here. Hi, KMO and Ed. I'll be listening mostly this session. Ah, well, then I'll try to keep talking. We're waiting on a background color from Ed. Ed, what, or Les, whoever types first, what background color should this next piece be? All right, well, can't wait any longer. Let's see. Let's go with green. And we'll make it a light green. Here we go. Magenta. Guess we're not in real time. I can't really ask you, is this your idea of magenta? But is that your idea of magenta, Ed? It's kind of bright. I'm going to dull it down with that. Now that we add white, it becomes more of a lilac. You know what? Let's just go back. All right. Somebody give me a subject matter or theme or something. Hit me up. Well, yeah, we can't really use the chat to communicate in real time. It's close to real time, but it's not actually real time. I mean, even face-to-face conversation isn't actual real time, but you know, that's what we mean when we say real time. As, let's see, theme is nymph, as in nymph that will later become a dragonfly. Oh. All right, well, gosh, without reference, what does a dragonfly nymph look like? Not much, I don't think. Just sort of do they have limbs? I really don't know what a dragonfly nymph looks like. Let's do a little search. Oh, okay. Interesting. So, no, that guy is not it. Let's remove all of this. So, a nymph, dragonfly nymph. It actually looks like an insect. It's got the 6 legs. So they've got a head, 2 big eyes on it, and then this long segmented body. And one set of legs right up here by the head. And then a third set a little bit further back. Not that much further, though. So I think there might be another section here. Head, thorax, abdomen. The legs all come off the thorax, I guess. Nope. Lost the chat. All right. Oh, right, chat. So here's the limitation that I was looking at the nymph on one screen, and that means I can't really look at the chat. Earwigs. I don't know what an earwig looks like, and I'm not going to do any more visual research right now. So anyway, we're going to mess around here in Fresco for just a few more minutes, and then I got to pop over to Clip Studio Paint. That's interesting. There is no chat. We're all engrossed in your nymph drawing. Well, I think Les is probably doing some other work. As he said, he would only be in the chat, which I took to mean not really watching the video portion. Or no, he wasn't going to be in the chat. He was just going to be listening, which means we have to carry the chat. All right. Do you guys ever watch Bob Ross or Bill Alexander? The quick painting guys, you know, the wet on wet, super fast oil painting dudes. I think Bob Ross is the more famous of the two these days because of his big afro and his very stoned, happy demeanor. But gosh, what are their names now? Bob Ross, right, and Bill Alexander. Bob Ross was Bill Alexander's apprentice. And Bill was not too pleased when Bob started doing his own show, very much in the style of Bill Alexander, using the same technique and getting more popular. So it goes. It's all in the presentation. Let's see. That's correct. I used to watch Bob Ross on PBS. So you watched The Student, and you never watched The Teacher, right? Don't remember Bill Alexander and his thick German accent talking about his Unmighty Fanbrush. That was more Schwarzenegger than Bill Alexander, actually. Oh, Les, I think you mentioned the other day that I was going to get into copyright trouble when I played a couple songs on the live stream, and you were right. I got notifications from YouTube. And one of the songs, I didn't even play it. I think I was just quoting it or singing it or something. YouTube told me that the copyright holders, that they could monetize my video, that they could put advertising on my video and collect the money. It's like, it's a 2-hour video of me drawing and talking, which apparently I don't have any legal right to that material, my own voice and my own drawings, because I quoted a few rap lyrics. That's a bit on the ridiculous side. I think somebody needs to sue YouTube over that. Anybody feel like suing Google? Here. Hey, First. How you doing, man? You often pop in here, say hello, and then we don't hear another thing from you. What's up with you? I'm not sure I ever knew, or if I did, I've forgotten what part of the country you're in. What's that? Text message? Come on, phone. It's me. There you go. Ooh. One of those, huh? Last time I was in San Francisco, I think it was 2013. And it's a neat place, but man, it's got some obvious problems, like right there on the surface. Like, you know, I don't want homeless people to feel ashamed. I don't want them to, you know, try to stay out of sight and deny their own existence. But at the same time, you had a population of street people in San Francisco who, in 2013 at least, it was just a party town for them. Like just ongoing, low-life, you know, frolicking. And I guess, you know, the thing there is that, hey, we all like to relax and kick back and do stuff that just feels good, and most of us do it in private, and homeless people don't really have the option of doing it in private. And I guess they just become desensitized to being observed, and they lose all sense of, I don't want to say propriety, that sounds so stuffy, but, you know, they lose all sense of being observed and of moderating their behavior because of, you know, the fact that they were observed. Now, granted, there's a lot of substance abuse and probably undiagnosed and untreated mental illness at work there as well. But it was definitely an interesting contrast between the young tech folk living large and the street folk. And, you know, again, 2013, I know things have changed since then. So many societal problems get exported from San Francisco, all social media basically. They lose Uchi Soto distinction. Ed, spell that out. What is the Uchi Soto distinction? Home, private, outside, public. Yeah. All right. Everybody bored with the abstract stuff here? Want something with some content, with some objective representation? First, I haven't thought to look at your YouTube channel, and YouTube never shows it to me. Any big new projects? All right, blah, blah, blah. And so it goes. New layer. New color. That one. Come on. On demographics. Oh, we did a new Steam. Do you mean stream, or is Steam something that I don't know about? I'm guessing Steam is something I don't know about. And that you typed what you meant, and I just don't get it. On demographics. All right. Let's see. Wait, if you're in the Bay Area, it's like 6:30 in the morning right now. You're an early riser. Oh, that's not what I meant. Let's go with that one, and we'll take it down even further with this. Stream. Okay. Gotcha. Missing R. Not some new tech platform that I'm clueless about. As far as I know, Steam is it's a platform for playing video games online, or computer games. Alrighty. So it looks like we've got somebody meditating here, but they're falling asleep. Falling asleep. All right. So yeah, demographics. People in moderately prosperous countries forget how to make babies. and their populations get old. And conservative, and they don't even realize they're becoming conservative. All right, I'm back to the chat, says Les. Hey, Les, we're talking about demographics. And Ed says, I like to learn and understand things more. Let's see. Let's see what we got going here. Come on. Yes, kind of a thick dude for a meditator. Maybe that's an unfair stereotype. Meditators are skinny little things. I sometimes meditate, and I ain't no skinny little thing. Here's your magenta, Ed. We'll have a magenta meditator. Cannot fill this region. That's interesting. Oh, how about that region? Yeah. That's interesting. All right. Boy, I got some crazy lag going. Do I have programs open that I can close? Photoshop. That's what I can close. All right, let's see if that helps. Oh, I've missed some chat. What's going on? The USA financial markets just opened. It's Fat Laughing Buddha. Or more like Buff Laughing Buddha. This guy's got kind of a wasp waist. I think the markets did not like Apple's iPhone 12 event. Oh, I didn't know there was any such thing. I think phone with LiDAR is pretty damn cool. Huh. You good with tech stocks, Ed? And will allow for new useful innovation. So what's the point of LiDAR in a phone? What's the killer app there? Come on, FX, let's have it. There we are. LiDAR allows phone to measure depth, proximity of objects. But what do you, strap it to your forehead? I mean, isn't the phone in your pocket most of the time? Well, I suppose you could say that of any device built into the phone, like a camera. What's the point of a camera if the phone's in your pocket? So I get you. Yeah, I can imagine that would be useful. Certainly give the camera AI something more to play with. All right. There we are. Let's see. Come on. Got some crazy, crazy lag going with this. All right. Now. Wow. So it can get volumetric data from a space. One application is augmented reality. Ah, yeah. So a pink fairy elephant cannot fly around your room and watch you from your bookshelf. Oh, so it can fly around you. Right. And then there are all the innovations that we can't think of right now. Yeah. 19th century farmer wants faster, stronger horse, not John Deere tractor. I got 3 Canadian tech stocks you might be interested to look at, Ed. I like this color scheme. Imagine AR, ARHT Media, and NTAR. Oh, those are the names of the companies. Good, because I didn't recognize any of those. Thank you. I have an interested movie VR game for you to check out. Agents? I don't play those kinds of games. What sort of game is that, Ed? All right. What else? All right. What is happening? All right, that's enough. Enough of this. Saving document. Closing Adobe Fresco. Alrighty. Here we are with yesterday's drawing. Alright, let's fire up the tab mate. Actually, I gotta refresh my coffee, guys. I'll be right back. Here's my typical interaction with video games. If they have great cinematic, either trailers or cut sequences, interstitial sequences, I'll watch all those on YouTube. Don't need to play the game. I'm particularly fond of the cinematic sequences from the Old Republic multiplayer game. Never played it. I've watched those sequences many times, though. Alrighty. Let's just give Joyce some tone here. And here we go. So, it's a movie. It can be appreciated as a movie. The little characters are programmed and they interact in fresh ways every time. But you are like world god. You can invest some of them with will by according machine learning capabilities in the agent. Then the characters really behave in novel and unexpected ways. Never watched that kind of movie, game Ed. You will watch the trailer on YouTube. It's a Canadian production made in collaboration with our National Film Board. Okay, I'll watch it later, says Les. Sounds cool. Kind of sounds like The Sims, though. Except I suppose none of the Sims have any agency. Of course, none of the characters in this game are going to have any actual agency. There's a WhatsApp. Uh-huh. Rose, I have invited her to join with the chat, not with voice. And she might later. She's talking to her parents right now who are visiting from the countryside. So there's a 12-hour difference between me and her. So it is 9:44 p.m. in Cebu City. Well, she's not actually in Cebu City. Although I have given away the location of her island. And whites of the eyes. Here's a neat thing. Check this out. Why do you need to do that? Because it's easier to draw curves from certain angles. Just because how, the shoulder, elbow, wrist articulation. It's much easier to draw a curve. Whoops, wrong tool. It's much easier to draw a curve like that than like that. Although, I've just done each. And I've actually got the canvas rotated the wrong way for the easy curve. Oh well. What else are we talking about here? I made my dent in the universe for the day. It's The Sims with machine learning and more artsiness. Kmo, you have nailed it. You have nailed it, superpower. Aren't there like 4,000 islands in the Philippines? Yeah, there's thousands of them. I don't know exactly how many. I forgot who has more, Greece or the Philippines. I do not pretend to know. I heard that the Philippines are polyandrous too. Maybe before Catholicism showed up, but not anymore. Philippines is a very Catholic country. Catholic as the day is long. See these little trails here? These are such a pain. Hey, my Huawei Honor Band tells me I need to get up and move. And I'll tell it later. Later. All right. That tone, and I guess that's all I need right now. Do folks here have any favorite contemporary artists? I have to say my favorite artists these days are people whose work I'd never heard of until I discovered them on social media. And, they all tend to draw like the same sorts of things every day, but they've been doing it long enough that they've developed a very distinctive style, and they're just fun to look at. But I can't bring their names to mind. I mean, I recognize their work when I see it, like in my Instagram feed or my Twitter feed. But I don't really have their names committed to memory. But when I was younger, my favorite artists were comic book artists. People like John Byrne, Michael Golden, Arthur Adams are some of my favorites. And the book that was my Bible for learning to draw was How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way, supposedly by Stan Lee and John Buscema, but I don't think Stan Lee actually had a whole lot to do with it. I think he just slapped his name on it. So John Buscema. But, the John Buscema Marvel Comics style of figure construction and whatnot and presentation is all basically stolen from Byrne Hogarth. So really, Byrne Hogarth is my artistic mentor, even, for the years before I knew who he was. I was copying people who were copying him. Fun when you discover that something you really liked was really just a warmed over version of something older and better. Although I'm not saying Bern Hogarth was better than all the guys I liked. Just that they were borrowing from him in ways that I didn't appreciate at the time. Alrighty. I'm going to take my eyes off the screen here and look back over at the chat in just a few seconds. All right, what do we got? What do we got? I also live on an archipelago. Do you? A river archipelago? I heard some people in the Taklamakan Desert in Asia are polyandrous. I think maybe Tibetans had a polyandrous practice in the past. Barry Windsor Smith, yeah. Mobius, of course, yes, yes. Oh, yeah, I was thinking Marvel Comics when I was listing off all those names, but yeah, if we want to go into European comics, my primary introduction to that whole scene was via Heavy Metal Magazine, which, again, talking of stealing and then, not stealing exactly, but republishing, we'll say, republishing material from Metzel Hurlant, the French magazine started by Philippe Droulet and Mobius and who else? One other famous French cartoonist. But a lot of those old stories got republished for an American audience in Heavy Metal Magazine, which I was a devotee of in the mid-'80s, because it featured lots of nudity, bare breasts. Alrighty. So artists from heavy metal, Richard Corbin, who else? Oh, what's his name? The Immortal's Feet. What's his name? I don't know how to pronounce it correctly. I was talking comics with a German guy once who pronounced this particular artist's name correctly, and I didn't recognize it. And he said, "Oh, you might know him as." Oh, it's driving me nuts. Got to look it up. Yep, Les has got it. Inky, and I don't know how to pronounce it. Yeah, but anyway, definitely. Even though I can't pronounce the guy's name, definitely an influence from way back. But I took a comics class in college that was taught by a guy named Frank Stack, who is probably best known for doing a comic called The Further Adventures of Jesus. But he also he did a lot of comics with Harvey Picard, and probably most famously now is Our Cancer Year. So that guy was my teacher in university, and we were assigned to do reports on, pick a cartoonist to do a report on him, and I did my report on Mobius. Alright, actually, let's go back to where we were. Oh, right. I'll go with that for now. Yeah. What else we got? Oh, Bill Sienkiewicz. Yes, definitely. I remember his Bilal. Well, that's how I pronounce it, but he pronounced it differently. Anyway, Bill Sienkiewicz very famously did a stint on the New Mutants comic book where they introduced the bear, and I think the bear gets recycled. I think a bunch of the Bill Sienkiewicz stuff gets recycled in the New Mutants movie, although not very effectively, it sounds like. All right. Getting too fussy with this. Time to move it along. Move it along. Huh. Anybody else? Oh, so Ed, you like Barry Windsor Smith? You know, when I think of Barry Windsor Smith, I think of two things. I think of his work on Conan, which is not what you probably think of when you think of either Conan or Barry Windsor Smith, because you know he tended to draw Conan kind of skinny, and this was before the movie where you know Conan became associated with Arnold Schwarzenegger. And I also think of an X-Men issue that he did that involved Storm sort of wandering lost in the desert in Africa. I think it was called Life Death. Anybody else? Favorite cartoonists or other artists? Anybody have any artist suggestions that you follow on social media? You know, people who aren't necessarily famous, but who are, you know, who have found their niche and are chugging away, getting their art out every day. I know you guys can't post in the chat here, so I wonder if that's a setting that I can change. But you can't post links. But anyway. Somehow share those with me, please. All right, I'm getting close. Actually. I saw a flicker of movement. What's over here in the chat? Lots of stuff from Ed. Les likes old artists. Well, old artists. Kathy Kollwitz, German artist. You know her, Les? Or, gosh, who's that guy? Oh, gosh, there's a fantastic German artist. He was this like just industrial draftsman doing very prosaic stuff, but his technically very very good. And then one day he just busts out, with these fantastical drawings of centaurs and naked women and, just fantasy stuff. And it was brilliant. Stanislaw Sukalski. Yeah, Pinterest is great for this sort of thing. Miho Harano. Don't know who that is. Gosh, who am I thinking of? Clay. What was his name? Heinrich Clay. Is that it? I gotta search real quick. Let's see. Can you all hear the kids? We got daycare outside now. Heinrich. The K? Clay? Yeah. Yeah, German illustrator. Okay. 300 best Heinrich Clay images. Ha! And guess what? It's on Pinterest. So, here, let me post this in the chat for y'all. Where's the chat? Where'd it go? Here it is. Here, check this guy out. All right. Keep it up. Down. And let's begin. Or continue, as the case may be. Heinrich Clay, much woo. What do you mean by that, Ed? What do you mean, much woo? All right. Okay, this is a small image, so that's why I'm being really rough and sort of cavalier with my shading and stuff here. All right, good enough. Ooh, wow, looking at this the next day, don't like what I see. Don't like it. What's going on? Oh, I gotta... There we go. Less nose. All right. Now, ideally, I would go back to a sketch layer and figure out what I'm going to do before I start inking, but ideal is boring. That ain't it. This will be one of those draw, Control Z, draw, Control Z, draw, Control Z exercises. Nope. Still no. All right. Giving her the cute little comic ski slope nose here, but that's not really what I want her to have. Oh well. That's it. That's how it's going to be. Let's throw some tones in there, shall we? There's her skin tone. And her shirt tone, which I think is just pure white. Alright. Realize I have not looked at the chat in a bit. Get back to that here in a sec. Just jabbering in the meantime. Oh, let's get on the right layer. Alright. What do we got? Woo is a Chinese idea from the man in the high castle. Yeah, I remember it mentioned, which means to me spiritual power in art or life force, etc. Yes. So Frank, I guess, was the guy who wanted to make industrial jewelry. His stuff had woo, even though it shouldn't have. I suspect that one must retain one's vital essence in order to be able to draw with such power consistently. You know, I wish I knew, Ed. I wish I knew what the secret there was. Norman Rockwell and Frederick Remington are some of my favorite American artists. Yeah, Norman Rockwell. You know, he gets unfairly, I think, written off as a sort of cutesy Americana, you know, like... I don't want to say nostalgia, but, you know, it's sort of a shallow, patriotic Americana, which is not fair. He was a really good artist. Always worked from models. And I guess photographs sometimes, but he would set up his scenes in his studio and take pictures and then I think work from the photographs. But, you know, we have all these associations about his art now. But, you know, he created... I guess he didn't create that style. Really, very few people actually create a style. But his stuff is pretty amazing. It's just that for the most part... Like, he did some civil rights illustrations. Like, there's the illustration of the young black girl who's going to be the first black girl to go to public school... or a white school in Arkansas. And she had to have bodyguards, and there's a famous painting of her. She's wearing a white dress, and she's in profile, and she's walking along a wall, and she's got her bodyguards with her, and there's paint splattered on the wall, like maybe somebody threw a tomato or something, and let me find that. Let's see, what's that called? Here we are. Yep. Here, everybody. Check this out. Ah, how long is a long fast for you, Les? My Kundalini has been hibernating for at least 7 years now. Is Rockwell equivalent of socialist realism from communist bloc? Equivalent in what way, Ed? What a pain. All right. Lose my train of thought. Yes, I do. What do we got? Political propaganda art. So I don't think that I don't think there was the same level of overt collusion between the artist and the state in the case of Norman Rockwell. I think he struck upon a commercially viable formula rather than one that just served the ideological needs of the state. All right, so this room here is going to be Joyce's arsenal, and this is going to be, I'm going to use a lot of photo reference for that, which I'm afraid is not very interesting to look at in a live stream, so I'll save that for later. So let's just save this. All right, now, what's this? Okay. We just have that open for color reference, I think. That we can close. Do not save. But that we can also close. Do not save. That we can close. And we can close that. Every year. Right. We can close that. What's going on here? Aztec dude, definitely close that. Sure, save it. I guess we'll leave that open for the time being. So this is Pinky's art. Very good stuff. Come on, close. It's been a while since I fasted, so we'll see. I'll shoot for very long because after the 3 to 4 day, your drive to eat goes away and it's just easy. Just have to get past the hump. Yeah, I did a 10-day fast a couple years ago. That was too long. I resolved not to do them that long again. All right, close that. Okay. Where would I have put all that? Here we are. Come on, open, please. I'm still working on it. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to preserve, this is the first page in issue 2, and I'm going to modify it to also be the last page in issue 2. So let's get rid of all of the dialogue boxes, the narration or the dialogue balloon here. Get rid of that. In fact, let's save this. Issue 2 splash, we'll say issue 2 last page. Because I don't know from memory what number it is. And let us find our stream chat again. They eschewed abstraction and created art that conveyed messages that supported official state lines. Yeah. Well, I fasted for 6 days a few weeks ago, but I wanted to go longer. Broke it because my damn neighbors were cooking something below that smelled delicious. It was torture I could not withstand. Yeah, my sense of smell gets really acute when I've been fasting. Ed says, I would like for there to be a mountain range between Russia and Poland. Get on it. Yes, Ed. But what's interesting is that Russian political art was actually not bereft from beauty, though it was bereft of ornamentation. Ah, interesting. Good for you, Kamo. 10 days is long for... Well, it wasn't my first time. Good for you, Kamo. 10 days is long for a first-time fast. As long as you don't have diabetes or an underlying condition, it's healthy. No, that's definitely... I would not recommend a 10-day fast for somebody who's never tried it. I had fasted many times before. Our propaganda posters on Reddit is very nice. Oh, I bet. I might actually want to go in there and borrow some compositional elements. All right, now let's get rid of Terrence McKenna. So let us delete the layer. All right. Okay. And we're going to get rid of that space background. Where's that? There. So we'll delete that. And what do we have here? Okay, let's get rid of, well, for the moment anyway, turn off Marcus's tones, we'll turn those off. And we'll turn off the background ink. And wow, what is down here? What is that? Let's see. So it's just some sort of reference. We can get rid of that. Perspective guide. What was that about? Unnecessary now. Delete that. Now let's get rid of Marcus's ink. What's that? Oh, it's a cross-hatching. All right. Get rid of the background tones. That's what I'm looking for. All right. So what is that? That's the rough layer. Okay. So Marcus is going to lose his hair. Alright, so now I just need to figure out where his scalp is under all this stuff. Let's grab a pencil. Alright, so too big. He's not a brainiac. Bring it down a little. I mean, he's smart, but he doesn't have an oversized brain. And like that. Sure. All right. So now each one of these tentacles has got an insertion point. Like there'll be one here, I guess, and this one inserts up here, over here, and there, and up here. So these are places where Derek had to pull the snakes out and probably took out a chunk of skull and then replaced it, plugged it back in. So these will be like plugs. Maybe they'll be stitched like that. All right. Now, just for a little cheap and easy variation, we'll put the hand move it someplace a little different, maybe closer to the top of the page, and we'll change the orientation of his arm slightly. To enlarge it, we want to. There we go. Something more like that. Okay. Just so it's a little different than the previous, the first page. So now let's bring back character ink layer. Yes, apply transformation. Okay, these are the tones. There's the ink. All right. So what needs to change? All of this. Oh. And all of these. Sorry, I haven't checked the chat in a while. I'll do that here in a second. Well, when I say a second, I mean several seconds. All right, what do we got? Oh, nothing. No activity in the chat, really? Since 10:18? 8 minutes, no messages? What y'all doing? All right. $10.26. Okay. This is not viable. I just popped over to my email. That is an untenable activity. All right. So back to ink. Black. Okay. Let's see, 12. It's going to be a little small. Let's try 17. It's decent. That'll work. That'll get us there. Oh, you know what else we're going to erase? We're going to erase all of these. All of this. Yeah. All right. Ready? I suppose we'll give him a fingernail. Why not? He's earned it. All right. Oh, I've lost a line here. That's interesting. Okay. That one will require a ruler. Right, I was going to look at the chat and didn't. I'm going to do that right now. Right now. Oh, I'm logged out. How'd that happen? All right, let's refresh. All right, I've refreshed the chat. I see no messages. Is that really the case? Alrighty, now. Ah, there's a Baha'i temple in Chicago. I'm thinking I got disconnected from the chat, fellas. I've missed a lot of what you were talking about, and I possibly won't be able to see it or get it back. Ah, what am I looking for? I'm looking for this. Adjust line width. Thicken. There we are. Come on. All right, here's the important bit up here. There's a Baha'i temple in Kampala, Uganda. Yeah, the Bab was a visionary. Will probably be the next fashionable religion of the world. Yeah, 6 or 7 from what I remember, but the Chicago one is the most exquisite. Yeah, you did get disconnected. Good hand rendition, KMO. So was the stream continuing? Could you still see the artwork in progress? The architect was from Quebec. So we're very proud of that. Please ask for what's her name. Yeah, for the definition. Alexa, please define reify.
Neophyte is usually defined as a beginner or novice.
Alexa, stop.
For more,
Alexa, define reify.
reapply is a verb usually
Alexa,
defined
stop.
as.
Alexa can't hear that word. Hi, Mocha. What's up? She's very PC, Les. She will not say anything remotely offensive. Alexa, Say, once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered weak and weary over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore. Yeah, she wouldn't do it. Not that that's offensive. All right. So now, what am I doing? Let's just start again. Looking to define his hairline here. Okay. Let's go back to the ink. Yeah, ink. Okay. Something like that, but not that. Let's try 50. Or 80. Yeah. Did it again. What's happening? Okay, here's the idea. Just do it like this. And now, no, that's not going to work either. All right. This calls for a new ink layer. Layer, new, vector. Now, we'll do this. And we invert the selection and delete. Why didn't that work? Because the selection is inverted. Delete. Okay, well, how about if we do this? There we go. All right. And why are those still there? Oh, this is driving me insane. What's going on? I don't want to sit there and pointilize and just draw each one of those little dots by hand. Let's see. We'll try it as a raster layer. How about that? Huh. There we go. Yeah. Now what happens if we just put the tones back the way they were? Uh-huh. That's what happens. All right. So, well, actually, let's just do it like this. Nope, not that. There. That. All right. What do we got here? Ah, wow, I've missed quite a bit. Okay, so reify, to regard or treat an abstraction as if it had concrete or material existence. So a bit like the reverse of animism. Were you a thespian, KMO? I have done a little bit of acting, yes. Maybe it's like I'm depressed because my credit score is below 600. Oh, in that sense. We have to invade X country to save freedom and democracy. Well, that's interesting. Reify is my new interesting word of the day. I'll put it together with the qualia and signal transduction. Thanks, Ed. You just learned of qualia today? Qualia is a philosophy of mind grad school term for me. Very good. I have so far made 2 dents in the universe. Ed is for educative dude. Les, this morning I am closing a set of profitable trades in expectation of coming weeks of market volatility. I don't do stock picking. I simply ride the big wave oscillations of the overall market. I'm semi-long on gold. Should go up in February. Hope I'm right because this year has been a disaster for me. I abandoned my long-term strategy for trading. I consistently buy high and sell low. Let me suggest you reverse that. I'm terrible at trading, too impatient. You may go long on gold by shorting an EFT called $dust. I use options. You must be like SPOC. Oh, Spock. I gotcha. and free your mind from emotions. Except Spock never really did that, did he? Yeah, it doesn't help when someone else is counting my money and breathing down my neck all the time. Bah, different topic. I agree. I can come to Poland and take care of that for you if you want. What? Breathing down his neck? You're going to stop the person who's doing it? That's okay, Ed. Thanks, though. All right. Let's see. First of all, get rid of that. And now pick a color. It's not a color, it's a tone. Alright, once again, the Huawei Honor Band is telling me, get up and move, dude. You've been sitting too long. Alright, now let's do that. No, not what I meant. Yeah, more like that. New messages. What do we got? Please excuse me, I've been watching Better Call Saul. It appears to have affected me. I absolutely adore that show. Love it. In fact, I'm going to go out on a limb and say I like it better than I liked Breaking Bad. Bob Odenkirk is the man. Everybody hear the mewling children? So let's start putting stuff back in here. How about the ink borders? Let's just erase that one. Delete layer. And deselect. And put in the background inks. And background tones. There we are. Ooh, I've made some mistakes down here, haven't I? All right. Let's tones. There we go. Let's see about all of this. And dragging it down a bit. Nope, just gonna have to start all over. All right. So, how about this dot pattern? Nope. There we go. What else? I will now share an observation. Yesterday I heard OpenAI riffing on Toto's Africa. The AI-generated lyrics were indiscernible to my ear, but I noticed that the YouTube auto-generated closed captions had no trouble making sense of them. End observation. Interesting. If I send a link, will it work? Note, you have to send search words or creatively write out address. Okay, search famous actors illusion in Google and click on the YouTube link. I will do that. I got a video called Shocking Illusion, Pretty Celebrities Turn Ugly. That's it. Very good. Now, in the spirit of quid pro quo, you will open a new tab and go to agents.ai. Haha. I didn't see that one. Don't know. I don't follow y'all. I don't get it. Let's see. Come on. All right. going on over here? That's interesting. No, not what I meant to do at all. Not at all. No, no, no. All right. What color was the pen before? Okay. So body, well, let's do this. Like that. Actually, down there and that. Oh, what was that? No, I just started Photoshop by accident. It's going to take forever to launch and then forever to close. It's going to eat up my processing power the whole time. Frickin' Adobe. I mean, it was my mistake. Still, not a big fan of the Adobe. Not that. Yuck. now let's spin this guy around and make some fake writing in the journal here. And let's just make this a whole new layer. Okay. There we go. Save. Alrighty. Hey, fellas. It is past time for me to get on out of here. So I'm going to do that now. I'm going to end the stream, but first I will review what I've missed in the chat. Let's see, what do we got? What do we got? Oh, wow, I missed quite a bit, didn't I? All right. You didn't see which one, Liz. I didn't follow. Don't follow. Never mind. Thought you sent me something else. Okay, I'm watching Ed, and I don't like it. I'm conservative and a bit of a Luddite. Although I do use my computer a lot. When Spock would look through his thin rectangular viewfinder and see a strange new thing, he wouldn't say, "I don't like it, Captain." No, he would say, "Fascinating." Who? "I don't like it" is what the horse from Ren and Stimpy always says. No, sir. I don't like it. I know, Ed, but this world is changing too fast for my liking. I'm the new generation of Amish. Okay. Fascinating, Ed. I had an idea recently that has to do a little with this. That's better, smiley face. The idea is, what if you program a computer game character with one directive, always strive to reach the next level? Fascinating. What if, at some point, that character escapes his medium by going into a self-driving car? Intriguing. And then from there goes into a person who is wired directly to the car. Then, theoretically, that computer character can control that person. And who knows what is next? You may very well be onto something. You get it. I encourage you to pay KMO to make a 6-panel comic conveying the idea. Thank you very much for that, Ed. I do not have the time. I wonder if that's comic book material. It's sort of like Tron, but in reverse. Is KMO on mute? I don't know. Can you guys hear me? I don't hear anything. Oh, okay, back. Had to refresh. All right, that's it. That's it, fellas. Closing down the stream. Thank you for showing up, and I'll